Welcome back to National Report. A group of House Republicans are fighting back against what they call the censorship of conservatives on Twitter, sending a letter to the new CEO saying in part, quote, "The free exchange of ideas is one of the most foundational aspects of our constitutional republic. Platforms like Twitter should allow Americans to engage with the diversity of ideas, no matter whether or not those viewpoints are shared by Silicon Valley corporate elites." Joining us now to discuss one of the House Republicans behind that letter, Congresswoman Claudia Tenney from New York. She joins us now live on the program. Congresswoman, thanks for coming on today. Glad we can have these conversations offline, because you never know what might be flagged online. But why is it that Congress should get involved in the decisions of this private company?
Well, Twitter is so large, and with the new CEO coming in and replacing Jack Dorsey, Mr. Agrawal, he has indicated that he doesn't care about free speech, and that's a founding principle of our constitutional republic. It's the main reason that New York State even joined the federal government back in 1789, because they wanted to be sure we had a Bill of Rights to protect us from government action and to ensure we had free speech. Because Twitter has got so much power, and in this big tech world, we want to make sure that Twitter is going to recognize free speech because of the broad platform they have. Now, I recognize it's a private company. We want to be sure that they're not going to continue to censor conservatives and continue to allow, for example, the high leader of Iran to spew hatred and anti-Semitism and anti-American speech, while President Trump, for example, is banned from Twitter, and numerous other conservatives have been banned from Twitter or even shadow banned or have had many of their followers taken away. So if you're going to be out in the platform with such a large audience, we need to make sure that free speech is always protected.
Yeah, and as we know, the 45th president of the United States not allowed access to a Twitter account. We don't know his plans for 2024, but we do know that politicians can get their message out on social media. Has Twitter and the new CEO responded to this letter, to these demands?
Not yet. Of course, the letter just went out last week, so we're hoping that we'll get some kind of response from them, at least some kind of notice that we are paying attention as conservatives, and certainly others have the opportunity to create other platforms, which is what we're hoping that will happen, that will have a free enterprise zone in the internet. Obviously, coming on shows like Newsmax and others, we have a chance to speak exactly how we should as Americans. But it's a very dangerous road we'd be going down if we are going to get into censorship. And that's something that the left really is getting involved in right now, censoring anyone who has a different view. You know, the real, founding principle is a marketplace of ideas, the ability that we can have free speech. And sometimes the worst form of speech is the most protected. And that's what makes us America and not China, the Communist Party of China, the former Soviet Union, and other authoritarian regimes that actually either jail or put people to death who actually speak out against the government or against others. So we want to make sure that we protect speech. Obviously, we don't want hate speech, and we don't want speech that is going to be inciting violence, that the First Amendment has some limits. But we want to make sure that we protect the rights of others to express legitimate political views, and really not necessarily legitimate political views. As I said, it's the right to express yourselves as long as you're not inciting some kind of violence.